Should there be a national ban on body checking for Pee Wee hockey players? It is crunch time for Hockey Canada. After a long debate, the governing body will vote on the issue at its annual general meeting tomorrow. For more right now, however, we turn to the president of Hockey Canada. Joining me live from Charlottetown, where the meeting is underway, is Bob Nicholson. Sir, I'm so glad you're taking the time out from those meetings to talk to me. And you know what? Parents who are crunched right now and getting their kids breakfast or off to school or whatever want to know the answer to this. Do you support the ban on body checking at the Pee Wee level?
Let me be clear. We're really looking at the skill of checking, and body checking is the last stage. And we're going to really emphasize how do you teach checking at a young age, and that vote's going to come down today. Certainly a lot of new evidence shows that we should delay till Bantam, but we'll know tomorrow and we'll give that message to Canadians.
How are you going to vote?
I don't get to vote. I'm the president. Certainly concussions is a big issue in our game. We want to make sure that the game is safer. And Paul Carson, who has really collected all this information, has great data that he's giving all the delegates right now. And I think they'll make the right decision. We've seen some great leadership by some of our branches already on body checking. And we want to make sure that all young boys and girls can play this game in a safe, fun environment.
You mentioned in your first answer that checking is a skill that needs to be learned. So that leads me to believe that you think checking is okay if it is learned and taught properly. What does that mean?
No, there's a number of steps to checking. First of all, you have to be able to skate. You have to have good agility. You have to be able to take a player into the angle them into the corners, stick check, body contact, and then body checking. So body checking is the last stage of the skill of checking.
Right now you're looking at 11 and 12-year-olds. What about 13 and 14-year-olds, the Bantam section?
I think that, again, we want to teach checking, and we want to make sure they know how to take a check. They're looking at some areas of the countries where they can, that there will be options for kids not to have body checking throughout their whole minor hockey career if they want to have that. We want to make sure that they do have options, but at the competitive level, we certainly think that body checking should be in the Bantam level. Okay,
and what are you hearing from parents, if anything?
You know what? A lot of comments from parents. Right now we're getting comments that they want body checking at an early age, at a later age, but I think the evidence is starting to show that it should come in at a later age, and Bantam looks like the level that it's going to end up at.
Mm-hmm. And the concussions that you mentioned, that's got to be a big worry for parents, right? That's probably the #1 concern when it comes to checking.
Yeah, you know what? Concussions are a big concern, and they're not just in hockey, they're in all sports. We're starting to learn more and more about concussions, and we want to make sure that we try to remove concussions as much as we can from the game of hockey. We won't totally remove it, but I think we can do a better job as we get more information on concussions.
Mm-hmm. And we know concussions are cumulative, so, one leads to a second one that's worse and a third one that can be even worse. If this vote passes tomorrow, though, and I know I'm looking at a hypothetical, but just work with me on it, how soon could we see a ban go into effect if that's the way they go with Pee Wee?
Yeah, it'll go into for next year. We've really got a lot of educational material already put together. As I stated earlier, a lot of it is around the skill of checking, and that'll get down to the minor hockey associations this summer.
And if it does not pass, let's look at that side of the coin as well. Then what happens?
You know what? We're still going to emphasize the skill of checking. No matter where it's introduced, we have to make sure that they know the first 4 steps before they get to body checking, and we'll emphasize that also.
And I suppose that not only the players will have to learn about how to check those 4 stages, but coaches of teams, Pee Wee, Bantam, etc., will have to learn them as well. So that's a whole retraining thing, is it?
Yeah, you know what it is. It's not just about the player. It's really about the coaches, how they teach it, how they control it. When games are on, we have to make sure the officials really watch it carefully, and also starts right at home with the parents. So there's a huge education that we have to do with everyone involved in the game. And we've been doing that over the last number of years, but we really have to emphasize it again.
Bob Nicholson, I want to thank you for your time. Are you watching any of the playoffs?
You know, loving the playoffs. All Canadians love the Stanley Cup playoff games.
Good for you. Well, enjoy the meetings, and I thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
That's Bob Nicholson, president of Hockey Canada.